Hot tag, hot tag, hot tag. And we go inside the imitation palatial studio / edit extravaganza locale of our buddy Gabe Schray. And for this one, we get to check up and see what's going on with Gabe, because we have MLS Next Pro and League One to discuss, and he's busted out the headset this morning. See, this is how official Gabe is today, is that he's ready to talk about things on a headset. So this is like real announcer stuff, man.
Brother, I'm a wreck. Like, I'm not ready at all. Usually I have like a laptop in front of me.
Yeah.
And so I like to cheat a little bit. You know, prep works everything in the broadcasting world. Usually I like to have like a tab open and I can look at the standings and use that to help me tell the story, and I don't have anything today. This is just a webcam and it's clipped to a chair. It's not even on a tripod.
Hey, look, but it's level. It's level and it's good. We bring you in to discuss everything Next Pro and League One, because traditionally there are some weekends where you would be doing a Next Pro event or flying down to South Florida and calling games in League One and or Championship, and then flying back to do Next Pro events. In Next Pro, we now have our title game figured out, and it took a little while for us to find out what happened in the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia Union 2 gets a lead on a goal by Stas Korjanowski. But as the gentleman that used to hang on to the Ticonderoga number 2 pencil used to say, that would only be through the first 45. He'd go, not so fast, my friend. Roald Mitchell got on a roll, pardon the pun, in the second 45. This equalized it, courtesy of our friends at MLS Next Pro and Apple TV.
Going to be a penalty kick, but again, Mosquera just turning up the heat, driving inside, playing 1-2 combinations, trying to receive it back on that favored left foot.
Here's Roald Mitchell! Big equalizer! Big moment! All square in the Eastern Conference Final!
Absolute banger from Big Mitchell. What a touch, what a finish. We spoke about him being starved of service so far in this game. This isn't the best ball that he gets from this box, but he makes the most out of it. Again, drilled into the box. Look at his first touch. Bang. The second one, left foot, across the goalkeeper, into the back of the net.
That's a great call.
Yeah, and I mean, so that's MLS Next Pro and Apple TV, and we reinforced the first goal from Roald Mitchell by playing Jess Charman.
That's an absolute banger!
So it's 1-1, and then Roald Mitchell is not done, as the kids say. So Roald Mitchell not done, because a couple minutes later, this happened. Once again, courtesy of our friends at MLS Next Pro and Apple TV.
Very confident in his call, but it wasn't a large offside whatsoever. It was very marginal. But there's some excellent attacking play there from the Red Bulls.
Over the top, Roald Mitchell! New York leads!
Absolutely incredible from Mitchell. If there's ever an example of you don't need 6 touches to score, I think he sets the tone.
So it goes from 1-0 on the goal by Korjanowski in the first half. Roald Mitchell scores twice in 12. And Red Bulls 2 in a battle of 1 versus 2. The winner of this one was going to get home advantage for the MLS Next Pro final. Michael Bradley comes in to Red Bulls and gets them to the last game of the year in MLS Next Pro, and they're going to be going up against Colorado Rapids 2. Loons 2 get a goal in the 20th minute to take a 1-0 lead. Logan Dorsey got the goal, and then 2 goals in the second half by Alex Harris and James Cameron, and it turned out, I guess, that maybe James Cameron was the terminator for the Loons 2 season. And so Loons 2 lose it 2-1. Colorado Rapids 2 will travel to, I guess, Harrison, New Jersey for this one for the final. So it's Colorado Rapids 2 and the top seed out of the East, Red Bulls 2. Sorry, Rich. I know. Rich is in the timeline. Rich Ransom is our resident Philadelphia Union supporter. And he enjoyed the first goal on the board, but not the next 2. So your MLS Next Pro final, Gabe, Red Bulls 2 and Rapids 2.
Yeah, the Red Bulls are special. You know, the Red Bulls were good at the beginning of the year, and the last couple times you and I have talked on this segment, I've hammered how the development of MLS Next Pro throughout the year changes the way a team plays.
Mm-hmm.
The kids on that roster are special, and they've meshed perfectly. I think Colorado Rapids is going to have a hard time. I mean, New York Red Bulls are doing everything in every facet of the game. They transition well, they counter well, they play their game, they stay with the game plan every time out. There's really just not many flaws with the way they're playing the game at this point. I think they're beatable, but Colorado Rapids 2 has got a tall order in front of them to try and get the win, especially on the road.
No doubt about it. They're averaging about 2 goals a game, and let's see, 12 over 28, so it's like 1.4. They've given up 40 goals this season. Red Bulls 2. This might play into Rapids' hands a bit. Right now, you look at Red Bulls under Michael Bradley and slightly before, and especially that first game when he was there, Red Bulls have scored 68 goals this year. So it's, so 56 and 28. So what's that? 12 over 28. So they've 2.4 scored, and they've given up 56. So that, to me, giving up 2 goals a game on average, and I know that it's skewed from the times that they would give up a lot and then you'd have clean sheets, but that might be the lifeline that you look at for Rapids 2 in this case, where they give up a lot of goals. Yes, they're 10-1-3 at home, but Rapids 2 can look at the tape and sit there and go, okay, so there are places where they've given up goals. So I'm thinking the further this game goes from being a clean sheet, it might play more into the Rapids' hands there in New Jersey on the weekend.
I don't disagree. I like that analysis. I would also say that plays into my point of how difficult they are to beat. The fact that instead of saying, how does New York Red Bulls come out of this with a win, it's all about, can Colorado Rapids do it, right? That really tells the story. Just from where we see the match, it's all about, can Colorado Rapids find a way to beat New York Red Bulls? I like the thought of it being high scoring from a Colorado standpoint, right? If you get high flying, if you get a lot of things going on, a lot of action, a lot of emotions flying, that opens the door to you kind of skating past them. They're going to score. They're going to score. Is it going to be 2? Is it going to be 3? Could they hang 4 or 5 on them? I doubt that. I think this is a 2 or 3 goal per club match.
Yeah.
Colorado Rapids needs some luck. They probably need to score off of counters just with how well the Red Bulls do, specifically in midfield, and then just finding those opportunities on counters. I think that's where Colorado needs success. It's not going to come from set pieces. It's going to come in open play. It's going to be fast, free running goals. That's how they win if they do. The key is there. It's in their forwards and their counterattack from midfield.
And there have been moments for Red Bulls this year where the scoring has been off the charts. I'm gonna pull the 9-2 game that they lost to Fire in Bridgeview off the board. You've got, and I'm just going to I'll go from that moment when they lose 9-2 when Michael Bradley comes in July. So they scored 2 against Crew, 2 against Union, 2 against the Revs. There was a 1-0 win at Montclair against the Fire, 7 against Crew 2, 3 against Huntsville, 1 against Messi and Friends 2, 1 against FC Cincinnati, 2 against Toronto FC 2, 5 against Core, 5 against Fire, and the Fire hemorrhaged goals, and they hemorrhaged them by the handful, and I mean that literally. There were 3 matches in a row, I think, where Fire gave up 5, and then 2 against Philadelphia. So when Red Bulls score, they score in bunches. When they don't, it's, off the other side of the scale where they try to do just enough to win. Like I said, I'm intrigued with these extremes with Red Bulls.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of extremes. I think we're past, just from where we're at in the season, I don't see them scoring 5. They could, but the flow of how they've made their way through the playoff, the flow of the end of the year, I don't see this being some sort of scoring explosion. I think both of them are going to be very nervous. This is very important to these 2 clubs. They're going to come out and give it their best shot. And so they're going to overthink it. They're going to go strategy. They're going to say, how do we get here? Let's stick to the game plan and the fundamentals. You're going to have players that step up and play better than they have all season. And you're going to have guys that kind of like, I got to stick with the game plan. I don't want to get out of formation too much. But with that in mind, that's why I'm looking at the counter game, right? Who's going to step up and say, I don't care about the game plan. I care about winning. I want a championship. I want the trophy. I want the banner. That's where the win comes at. And Colorado has the opportunity to make that happen. But again, Red Bulls have just been so consistent. Looking back at scoring 5 against Chicago Fire, it's funny you bring that up specifically. That's the moment I knew they were dangerous. I said, oh, wow, Red Bulls is really good. Of course, Chicago did give up 3 matches in a row, so maybe they weren't that good. But at the time, what?
That's what Atlanta United too as well in Bridgestone. That happened.
Yeah. At the time, I was like, okay, this is it. And that seemed like a big moment in the season for Red Bulls to me at the time. But looking back, obviously, maybe not that significant, but they're here. So clearly it meant something. And it feels like they have just been on fire the whole way through. And it feels like Colorado Rapids are the club with something to prove in this.
Let's turn the page to League One, and they had 8, and now they have 4. Let me talk about 2 matches before we get in depth with the other 2. Naples continues a great first season, winning in PKs 4-3 over Union Omaha. From your time in League One this year, what have been your takeaways about Naples in general?
Naples is special. These are all special clubs. I just really like. Again, I'm gonna focus on that midfield. Naples does a good job of facilitating. They play defense really well and they facilitate really well from midfield, and that's kind of a championship club at this level. I feel like it's a club that can shut down on the attack and then find ways to get forward. And at that point, if you're doing such a great job in midfield of transitioning both ways, the rest kind of falls as it may. You don't have to worry so much about scoring. If you keep flicking the ball up there to your forwards, they're going to score eventually. And Naples has got that down packed, and that's why they're here. They had a rough start to the year. Then they caught fire quickly in that first third of the season. They were right up near the top of the table for a lot of the year. Then they kind of cooled off, and here we are, end of the season. They're hot at the right time, and that's everything. You know that.
Mm-hmm. And they get to travel to One Knox, the top seed, Saturday night at Covenant Health. It's going to be One Knox in one semifinal hosting Naples. When you've stared at One Knox this year, I had the chance to see them play in Statesboro latter part of the schedule, and they were hamstrung by Tormenta under Mark McKeever, irony alert, involving One Knox. But One Knox, top seed, they make it through. They beat Charlotte by the score of 2-1.
Yeah, One Knox is really good. I mean, they have everything. They've got the height, which I think is one of the reasons they're so good, and they've ended up top of the league. But it's funny, every time I've called a match, I do my prep work and I talk to Coach Fuller and I talk to the opposing coach and I'm like, yeah, talk to me about the set pieces. One Knox is so tall. They're going to be so dangerous on the set piece. I don't think I've seen him nod a goal in all year. I mean, I don't think I've seen him use the height at all. It's all just been free, open goals, and strategically they do everything right. And I don't know how familiar you are with Coach Fuller, but from talking to him this season, my guy is all business. There is no, he does not want to laugh. He just wants to talk soccer, footy, get on the pitch and play. And that's why they've been so successful. He's got the energy, the attitude. He brings that to the locker room, the strategy, and he is a brilliant football mind. It's going to be a really good battle. I don't know how they take on One Knox. I don't know how they play against that system. One Knox does so many things so well. They've won in a different way every time I've covered them throughout the course of the season, right? You go in and you say, last time I saw this. So I kind of think they're going to do X, Y, Z. It has been completely random, the ways they've won, the ways they've put the game together. That makes it sound like they're not consistent or, that it wasn't clean. It was. I mean, they just find creative ways to win, and they look good while they do it.
The other semi is going to be on Sunday, and it means that one team has to travel from one end of the planet to the other. And that team is all our friends at P-Hop. The Portland Hearts of Pine go to Chattanooga and set an early marker for the rest of USL League One in the postseason. And sometimes you only need one goal. This is that one goal, courtesy of our friends at USL League One and ESPN+.
Iambila. How about that work from Nathaniel James? Played up the pitch now for Washington. And the eject button being hit. Red Wolves being caught on their ankles there. Wright feeds it inside. Tap back to him. Ollie Wright! He scores! The hearts are buzzing! The spotlight always shining on Ollie Wright, and he's always ready.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, and a lot of folks know Ollie from his time at Huntsville City Football Club. Before he comes, and P-Hop sought him out. They wanted him to be one of those they wanted to be one of those cornerstones in the building of this team, and Ollie comes through in the postseason to send them through to the semis.
Yeah, and that's right. Bobby Murphy told me that specifically. Hey, we wanted Ollie Wright. Ollie Wright kind of quietly made that transition and, might have gone under the radar that he left MLS NP, moved to USL 1. Man, week maybe 10 or 11, he scored a hat trick at home for Portland Hearts of Pine. And I was like, oh, Ollie Wright is over here now. And boy, is he noisy. And he's been loud since then. Had a really nice regular season. Looked good week in, week out. Just dominated and was commanding up and down the pitch. Really good in the wing. Important piece in that final third. He powered them to wins. I think Nathan Messer, God bless him, he looks like a crazy man every time he scores. I don't know if you've seen the shots they get of him after he scores. The face he makes is wild. They just have all the right pieces. I did not think they would pull it out in Chattanooga, and not in a bad way. I mean, I really like both of these clubs. They're both fun to watch. I figured, hey, this one's going to go with the seed. Too bad, because it's been a magical year for Portland Hearts of Pine. Bobby Murphy's always got something up his sleeve. So tough for Chattanooga Red Wolves to see them exit in the playoff after such a really nice season, right? Everybody writing them off preseason. They start rough, and, man, talk about putting it together. They were number one in the league for a long time this year. But Portland, they've got something really special going on and off the field. A lot of energy, a lot of momentum. The community is really into them. They come to Chattanooga. They come to Southeast Tennessee. 10 minutes down the road for me, I might add, and they get it done. Really exciting.
No doubt. And that was the only non-chalk result in League One, but it took Spokane until the 115th minute where a handball was called inside the 6. Then you get the penalty kick equalizer. After 120 minutes, they go to PKs. Spokane survives there. Tormenta, I don't think you can say enough about the job that Mark McKeever did when he came in, taking over for Ian Cameron. That run that they got on, the second McKeever was there to be a part of the academy. He's like, I want to build the academy and this and this. And so then Ian Cameron leaves. McKeever steps in as the interim, and then they just take off, and you got to see what Tormenta could do. And Tormenta, once again, goalless after 90. They had the lead, and they just couldn't hang on to it. So a great season in Statesboro for a finish, but Spokane now, as the 3, they get to host because P-Hop was your 7. Traditionally, it would have been in Chattanooga if Red Bulls had made it through, but as the 7 seed, Portland travels now to Spokane, and that's why it's Sunday night, because I think Portland has to pack now and leave tomorrow to get to Spokane in time.
That's a long trip. Yeah. Lee Viedman is just a genius on the whiteboard. That's going to be problematic for Bobby Murphy and company. They're really good at the counter. They're really good at making things happen, but Spokane is just commanding at possessing the ball, but still attacking. They don't sit on it for too long. Lee Viedman just understands formations in the game so well. No one has ever explained to me more clearly his plan, his strategy, how it all come together, and then explained it in a way that I could see it unfold on game day while broadcasting the match. Really incredible football mind. But hey, talking of incredible football minds, the exact opposite from a strategy standpoint, at least from where I sit in the media, McKeever. What a guy. McKeever, for every question, he has 3 different similes, metaphors, and I just love talking to him. I can't even remember the third R. He gave me relentless, resistant, resilient. He just is so fun to talk to, and I can see why they were able to get that turnaround with him. Biggest personality in the world. South Georgia Tormenta has looked great under his leadership as well.
And that's Saturday and Sunday in League One as we get ready for the League One final. I know that we will all have the magnifying glass out as well. Any other thoughts involving Next Pro and League One as we head into a final on one side and semis on the other?
None on League One or Next Pro, but how about Tony Scholes, speaking of USL?
Yeah, that too.
Oh, baby, that's big news. I'm excited for them. That's going to be a really exciting time. I hammered on that last week. I keep talking about it, how excited I am for the growth of these leagues and what it means for soccer in the American market. That is a big hire, and I think it means that PNR might be on the way, boys and girls. Get ready, buckle your seatbelt, because I think it's coming to America pretty soon.
Yep, absolutely. And so for those that might have missed it, he is now the president of USL Division One. Chief Football Officer of the Premier League, former CEO of Stoke, is now the Division One president. And so that is a big hire for USL if you missed out on that. So bringing him over to discuss everything and prepare for the launch of that top-tier league, and as it says in the headline of the press release, implement promotion and relegation. So obviously, yes, we will be efforting Tony to come on the show and discuss what is going on in anything and everything going on in the USL. Obviously, this means you're coming back at 10:30 a week from today to discuss everything else that's going on from a final and semifinals as we get ready for other stuff, yeah?
Looking forward to it. Appreciate you having me as always, and hoping to talk to you soon, my friend.
That clip worked out really well. It was a nice level shot that you had there in the Schray Studios. That's very, very nicely done.
I know. Yeah, this is just a corner in my apartment. It's really sad in here, but we're getting there.
We gotta work on the stuff in that wall, man. We gotta work on.
I know. Wall. I gotta get some I gotta get a Atlanta United poster right here. I bet Matt Moore or Jason could mail me one.
There you go.
Maybe like a scarf right here. I do have some scarves. They're just not out. I've got a Chicago Fire, Chattanooga FC, Atlanta United, Houston Sir. Ooh. Deep cut right there. A Houston Sir scarf.
There you go. See that
submarine.
There you go. See, yeah. So if you want to do, like I said, this works on doors. The shower rods are on the doors, but yeah, you'd have to go with either the train track up top if you want to do something from the ceiling, but yeah, if you want to frame things and just have the scarves kind of in the wall itself going lengthwise, I think that'll work. But yeah, we got to work on that background, man.
We'll get on it. We'll get some art going here soon.
Absolutely. All right, we'll catch up with you next week, my friend. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. Talk to you soon, sir.